Welcome to Screw the Commute, the entrepreneurial podcast dedicated to getting you out of the car and into the money, with your host, lifelong entrepreneur and multimillionaire, Tom Antion.
Hey everybody, it's Tom here with episode 446 of Screw the Commute podcast. I'm here with Simon Severino, a new friend of mine from Strategy Sprints podcast, and boy, is he doing great things with entrepreneurs and all kinds of people and increasing their business. So we'll bring him on in a minute. Now, remember, as affiliates, you can make big money referring my products and services, which could be anywhere from the ebooks where you'll make $8.50, and you can not even spend that at Starbucks. But guess what? If you recommend 100 ebooks, that's a pretty good payday for you. All the way up to $5,000 in speaking engagement referrals. So, and everything in between. So if you're interested in that, check it out. Email me, tom@screwthecommute.com, and I'll send you details. Now, make sure you grab a copy of our automation ebook. This has allowed me to handle up to 150,000 subscribers and 40,000 customers. Actually, you know what? I've been saying that for so long. I looked at the shopping cart the other day. It's 60,000 customers. So without pulling my hair out, we sell this book for $27, but it's yours free for listening to the show at screwthecommute.com /automate free, screwthecommute.com/automate free. And while you're at it, pick up a copy of our podcast app at screwthecommute.com/app. That's APP. Now, I usually tell you about my school, but I'm going to tell you something special about my school. We have a pilot program. We're just starting to put 4 people with physical disabilities through the school. And we've got a crowdfunding campaign starting next week. And so please check it out. We're going to change. I mean, I've done a lot of things in my life, helped out people and animals and all kinds of stuff. But I'm hoping this goes over the top and really changes these people's lives. So watch for that GoFundMe campaign coming out in about a week. And we're going to give them full scholarships to my school, and I'm going to hire some disabled people to help run the program. So really, really excited about this. All right, let's bring on the main event. Simon Severino is here. He helps business owners, coaches, consultants, and speakers, and all kinds of people discover how to be able to run their company more efficiently, which results in sales that soar. And he created the Strategy Sprints method that doubles revenue in 90 days. Check that out, by getting owners out of the weeds. He's the CEO and founder of Strategy Sprints, and which is a global team of certified Strategy Sprints coaches, which offer customized strategy to help clients gain market share and work in weekly sprints, he calls it, which results in fast execution. And wow, the people love him around the world. He's a member of the Forbes Business Council. He's a contributor to Entrepreneur Magazine and a member of Duke Corporate Education. Simon, are you ready to screw the commute?
Hey, Tom. Hello, everybody. I'm ready.
Okay. How you doing, man?
Excited to be here and curious how we can serve your beautiful community today.
Oh, well, I was thrilled to be on your show the other day. It was really a lot of fun, and hopefully you gave them some great insights, and you too. So tell everybody what you're doing now. How did you develop this sprint idea? I know people want to get things done, but sprinting's getting it done really fast.
Yeah, right now I am honored to be serving entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants around the globe with their main problems right now. And the main problem is, how do we react to these funky markets, to these shifting conditions, and to basically having to run a company, which always was hard, but now in a situation where you know nothing. So you have to run something that is hard to run without knowing anything, because everything changes all the time. This is the situation, and these are the people I am helping with, and we are coaching them in one-to-one fashion. And we are helping them stay more sane and have good cash flows, which is a beautiful thing, because when they come back to their dinner, to their dearest people, they are a bit more relaxed, a bit more funny to be around, a bit more open to listening, to hey, how was your day? And so we like what we do, and we are doing it full mode right now.
Yeah, and when you have money coming in, you can buy more expensive food, when you come to the house too. So, so tell us how you came up with the actual term sprint idea.
So traditional advisory, which I did for 18 years, was that you have long workshops of 8 hours with a top executive team. Everybody has to fly there, blah, blah, blah. So think of your decisions. Do you really need an advisor for 8 hours every 3 weeks? I don't. So when I run a business, I have small questions. I need an advisor for 5 minutes, but maybe today I need him 3 times and tomorrow 2 times and maybe on Sunday once. But I don't need 8 hours of workshop. Nobody needs that. So what I need is somebody like the friend of Spider-Man who is on his computer. And when I am in action, right, I say, hey, should I kick the left door or the right door? And he says, give me a moment, Simon. And then he comes back and says, take the left door, because behind the right one, there is a cactus. So that's what I need. It's real time, it's short, and it's blueprint driven. He shares the templates with me. He shares the knowledge with me, like a friend would coach you, not like the profession of the advisor, especially the business advisor, who is so smart and so far away and so hard to reach. And I wanted to create this because I needed something much more applicable, much quicker. And that's why we call it the sprint.
Got it. So what do you see as some of the biggest problems that you're seeing with small business people nowadays?
First problem is having no time to work on the business. We ask them, what's your expected sales for next week? I don't know. How do you take decisions? I guess. How can I help you get more reliability in there? I don't know, Simon, and I don't have time for this. I have to fulfill the needs of my client right now. I have to code 1 line of code. I have to build this widget right now. So they are working in their business 100% and on their business 0%. So the first thing that we help them when we coach them in the first week is to get rid of 10 to 14 hours of fulfillment per week, so that they now have 10 to 14 hours to work on the business every week, on the business of business, their positioning, their business model, their competitive analysis, their pricing, all these things, the form, fit, and function of the sales system, the form, fit, and function of the marketing system. These are things that you need time to work on. So first week, we help them get out of the weeds and create this time.
Is there an ABC, or don't you have to get to know a person's business, or is it pretty much the same problems every time you run into somebody?
Most people right now listening are not working enough on their business because they are doing their fulfillment themselves. They don't have standardized processes, and they need to modularize more, to standardize more. And while every situation is different and every country is different and every industry is different, the method that we use is probably helpful for everybody listening right now. You write down how you spend your time this week. So you write down today, 6:30 waking up, 7 breakfast, 8 first call, 9 meeting, 10 Instagram, whatever the day looks like. You write it down, and in the evening, you ask yourself 2 questions. One is, which of these tasks should somebody else do tomorrow because they can do it better than me? And the second question is, if I would live more intentionally, more freely, what would I do tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
You ask yourself these 2 reflective questions, just 5 minutes in the evening before you write down the flow of tomorrow's day. And so bit by bit, you find your time wasters and you find things to systemize, cut, or delegate. Systemize, you write them down to delegate them later. Cut, you just cut them. Delegate, you hire somebody to do them instead of you.
And so that's kind of the first week with you, is to evaluate what the heck you could get rid of.
Yeah. How are you currently spending your time? Where are your time wasters?
And is that how it kind of works? They come back to see you once a week for the 90 days, or how does the flow go as you're working with somebody?
So our sprint coaches work one-to-one 24/7 for 90 days. So you can approach them all the time, like the friend of Spider-Man. You can tag them, hey, sprint coach, I did the first draft of this. Can you give me some feedback before I go out there and test it 5 times in the market? Whenever you are ready and you did your first prototype, then you can tag them. So there is always one task that you have in front of you. It works on your phone, on your computer, wherever you are, whenever you have time and you want to work on it, you work on it. Whenever you have a question, you ask this question 24/7 and you get a quick answer. Then you go test it, see if it really works in your context or not, come back with the numbers. And then you have a weekly coaching with your coach where you talk about these numbers and say, okay, so what does this number tell us? Is this now something that we should do more of or less of?
So is it the same coach for the same person, or do they vary as the
One
go?
coach for 90 days.
One coach for 90 days, but you say coaches are available 24/7, but your coach is going to be available to you. So, nobody works 24 hours a day. So how does that work? So your coach is available, not on demand. So you're not calling into your thing and then somebody's going to talk to you instantly. You're going to make an appointment, or how does it work?
You can tag them directly, like you tag somebody on Facebook or on LinkedIn, and they will answer quickly. That's why I have coaches in every time zone, because I will help you get a coach in your time zone so that you have similar waking hours.
Yeah, so they're going to get back to you within a reasonable amount of time. It's not instantaneous, and you're not stuck with a different person all the time who doesn't know your system. Okay, got it. Now, I heard you say you worked for 18 or 19 years. Were you working at a job for somebody else, the dreaded job?
I've always been doing advisory, and at the beginning as an employee. Yeah.
And how did you transition to your own business? Did you save up money? Did you just get sick of it and quit one day? A lot of people are sitting in cubicles thinking, man, I want to get out of here, but they want to do it responsibly. How did you do it?
I saved money to have a 2 years runway, whatever
Wow.
happens. So if 2 years I don't get this thing going, at least my expenses are covered. And as soon as I had the 2 years on the side, I pulled the trigger.
Got it. Approximately what year was this?
This was, let me, this was around 2017.
Okay, about 2017. All right. So you worked a long time before that, saved up 2 years of cash, and then and already the internet was fully going. So how did you get the word out when you first started that you were in business for yourself?
I had already 15 years in the field, so people knew me, and I had people calling from time to time already. And this was enough because I had this runway. It was enough to start with 2 people. So I had 2 people who I knew would call me anyway. They started, and then a third person started, and I just focused on serving these people. I had no marketing, no real sales system, just solving their current problems and making them really happy. And then from time to time, I would ask them, hey, you seem to be so helped by this thing. Who else could need this thing? And they would introduce me to a couple other people. This was my organic growth in the first years.
Yeah, we just did a thing on referral marketing. In fact, one of the statistics that I revealed was that when you're referred by somebody else, the next person is 4 times more likely to hire you. So that's how you grew.
Trust you. They trust you already
Right.
because they trust the filter of this other person. And so that was the organic growth. Of course, very soon it reached a limit because you cannot go
Mm-hmm.
from growing to scaling. I became my own bottleneck. So it was around, I think, 500,000 turnover in the first year where I couldn't take on more clients.
Mm-hmm.
And I was also not very happy because I was working a lot and it was all work in the business. So I was constantly solving the problems of people as a consultant, but I was not solving my own problems.
Mm-hmm.
I had no time to work on my own sales system. So I was always having too many clients or not enough clients. That was the point where I said, okay, Simon, now from growth, you have to get into scaling. What brought you here, Simon, will not bring you to the next stage. And so you have to fire yourself. I booked a business coach and I said, I need to be 2 levels above fulfillment in half a year. Help me get there. And I had a great coach. He helped me a lot. And I had a weekly call with him. I would tell him where I am. And this was super helpful. And he helped me fire myself from fulfillment. This is when I started creating an online course for my colleagues. So I downloaded out of my head, what is it that I do in week 0, in week 1, in week
Mm-hmm.
2, in week 3. So I created a menu. Okay, this is the 12 weeks program. This is how I typically work. Now, if this happens, then that. If this, then that. So I created some extra modules around it to be customizable. And as soon as I had 200 modules, I knew, okay, we can pull this off now without Simon, and made it a certification program. Now, I started training the first coaches who do this, and every Monday I would supervise them. We would go through all clients. And this was the next stage of my company, now having certified coaches and every Monday coaching the coaches. Now I had, because I'm not doing fulfillment anymore, so you cannot book me as a coach anymore. Now I have time 30 hours per week to work on the business of my business. Now I have time for affiliate partnerships, joint ventures, podcasting, speaking on stages,
Mm-hmm.
writing a book, all these things that you should do quite late when your business is going well, when clients are happy, and now you want just to spread the word about it. Now I am in that stage.
Beautiful, beautiful. The way you laid that out. Yeah. And it took a coach to help you. That's what our value is to most people, is to see things that they can't see and help them solve it so they can move to the next level. So,
Absolutely. I remember so well, he was challenging me. He said, Simon, you don't know your sales of next week. And I was, yeah, I know. You have to write down. You had to write down how many calls did you have this week? How many did you close, etc. And I said, but these numbers are so volatile. I cannot rely on them. Why should I put 1 hour into documenting something that is so volatile? And he said, they are volatile because you don't write them down.
That's good.
And
Good point.
great point. It changed the trajectory of my business and of my life because I started writing down the really important things. And what gets measured gets improved.
Mm-hmm.
So these numbers were volatile in the first month because I was bad at estimating. But then I became better and better week after week. And now we have absolutely reliable numbers. And these numbers help us take the right decisions, like should we hire, who should we hire, which role, how much can we pay, what do we expect coming in and out. All these numbers are now our friends. And before that, I was flying blind. I did not know what are the numbers of next month, which means flying blind. And when you have the responsibility for your family, for your team, for your people to run a company, you have the responsibility to not fly blind, to really see the risks, see the numbers, see the opportunities, and take decisions based on your data.
Yeah, and the more that you learn to run your business, the more valuable you are to the people that you coach.
Absolutely. All these things that we created for us, now my clients
Mm-hmm.
started asking for, hey, that's a cool cash flow estimation model. Can I have that spreadsheet? Yeah, sure, take it. And so every time somebody asked for a spreadsheet, I said, this becomes the new template. This
Mm-hmm.
becomes the new module because this is helpful to people. And so it became the number 201 of our templates, etc. Now we have 274, and people can start from something. They don't need to reinvent the wheel, spend 3 months finding out how they do sales. They can say, hey, Simon, what's your template about B2B high ticket sales? And I go, here, it's 217. Here's the link.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Beautiful. So let's take you back, way back to when you were a kid. Were you entrepreneurial as a child? Did you come from an entrepreneurial family?
My father was an employee. He tried to become, so he was a teacher teaching, and he tried also a career as an architect, but that was tough in Rome at that time, and he went back into employed mode and was happy with that until he retired.
Mm-hmm.
My mother was different. She was a pirate, somebody like unemployable person, very creative, very courageous. And she was literally a pirate because she started a radio station because she found a loophole in the legislation of her country that said, well, here nobody can start a radio station, but there is no law. So she went literally to the other hill that was unregulated, put an antenna there and said, I'm going to start a private radio station here.
What did she talk? Was she top 40 or what did she do? What did she talk about on the radio?
Yeah, it was a radio station about like kind of everything, and then they start collecting sponsors, and I would be there and help her record the jingles. Like I would sometimes sing in the background or something fun for me, but it really went downhill pretty fast. As entrepreneurship goes, most of the ideas do not succeed long term. So this went downhill very fast. But I remember the excitement of that first year where everything was possible and we were all excited and into this. And then second year, third year, I remember the sadness of having to collect all these pieces, and then they started their next thing. So half of my family is entrepreneurial, the other one is not. And I started with that spark in me that I could tap into, that was just there for me. And I think I was always unemployable, like from the beginning, but I had to learn my craft somewhere. So it was a good idea to learn the craft in a good, solid, big company, and then as soon as possible, do my own thing.
Yeah, when people now I tell them, don't quit your job just crazy. Just use that job to pay you to learn what you're going to take into the future. So yeah, I mean, I never had a job and I didn't go that route, but if people can't just throw away and not pay their bills because they want to be entrepreneurs, so they can do it responsibly. So
I had a great job. It was flying around with the smartest people, being in the smartest rooms to take big decisions, like should we go into that market or that? How do we launch this product? How do we market that? How do we respond to this critique in the internet about our product? Really cool topics with the coolest teams. And I was flying around nonstop until the point where I said, okay, I've learned enough now. I can do my own thing.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and it only took you 18 years.
Yeah, some take longer.
So you're still young. So we got to take a brief sponsor break. When we come back, we'll talk. We'll ask Simon what's a typical day look like for him. Does he have a morning routine like a lot of people do, and how he stays motivated. So I normally tell you about my mentor program, folks, but if you're regular listeners, you kind of know that exists. But I'm really excited about this program, this pilot program we're doing to put 4 people with physical disabilities through my school. One person has uh, eyesight of 2,500, where 20/20 is normal. We have another person that's got ankylosing spondylitis, plus some other autoimmune diseases, and has to wear a super back brace and a knee brace, and can just barely get around, is hunched over, and oh boy. Um, we have another person that's got Ehlers something disease. I don't can't some of these things I can't even pronounce, but wow, are they debilitating, and keep them home. And she uses either a cane or a wheelchair to get around. And we have another guy that's got diabetes that's using a walker and hunched over. All these people had great things going for them until these diseases hit them. So I'm trying to do something great. I've fed lots of homeless children. I've rescued animals and all kinds of stuff. But this is one of my crowning moments, I believe, because I'm going to try to change these people's lives in this pilot program. And then when we show success with this, I'm taking a grant writing course to go for big money to help lots of people and really, really change their lives so they can legitimately learn from home and work from home in my school. That's the Internet Marketing Training Center of Virginia. It's the only licensed dedicated school of its kind in the country of the United States, probably the world. And so please help us out with the GoFundMe campaign. It's going to put those people through the school, and it's going to hire disabled people to help run the program. So really excited about it. Please watch for the GoFundMe campaign coming out. And hey, as always, it's a great for any regular people that don't have these disabilities to get skills that are in high demand by every business on earth. So consider putting your own young people through the school, or going through it yourself if you really want to improve your business. All right, so check that out. Watch for an announcement for the GoFundMe campaign in about a week. All right, let's get back to the main event. We got Simon Severino is here. He runs strategy sprints and really helps people ramp up their income quickly. And for all the experience he's gotten from learning how to work on his business instead of in his business, he transfers that to business owners around the world. So Simon, what's a typical day look like for you? Do you have one of these morning routines like we hear a lot about?
I do. First thing in the morning, so 5:30, my alarm goes, but usually I don't need the alarm because a little bit earlier, my boy comes and wakes me up.
Oh.
My Alessandro is 2.5. So usually between 5:30, he comes, wakes me up, and then we play a little bit in the kitchen. Then my morning routine is, while they do breakfast, I go running, and I run 10 kilometers every day. Now it's 400 days in a row.
Wow.
This really helps me, have the blood circulation, be awake. When I come back, I am ready for
How
the
long
day.
does that take you?
It takes 1 hour.
About an hour, okay.
And when it's in nature, and when I come back, I am ready for the day. Every Monday, this is with my friend Andy, and every other day, including Saturday and Sunday, it's just alone. I listen to audiobooks, or I just listen, to the birds and to nature. I come back, I'm ready for the day. Then 8 o'clock, I start working until 5 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, and the day has also a certain structure. So in the morning, only deep work, no meetings, just deep work. Myself writing something, building something, or recording something. Then in the afternoon, meetings, interviews, stuff like that, meeting affiliate partners, meeting my partners. And then in the evening, 5 o'clock, I have my podcast where I have one guest. I had you recently. So one guest comes in per day at 5 o'clock. And this is basically the fun stuff to wind up the day. because then 17:30, I am over to the kitchen and I'm either cooking and my wife is playing with the kids, or I am playing with the kids, and then we eat together, and then there is 2.5 hours of having fun together and bringing them to bed.
Beautiful, beautiful routine. So how do you stay motivated? You work out of your home. You don't go to the office, right?
I don't commute,
Nope. Good.
and that is very motivating.
Right. I know. Tell me about it.
I wake up and I love my life.
Hmm.
I don't need anything to motivate me. I am so passionate about helping people and doing what I do, and I'm having fun all the time. And what keeps me motivated is I have retired myself from projects that don't nurture each other, from people that have no good vibes, and from commuting. These three things, having retired from the wrong projects, the wrong people, and commuting, these three things keep me motivated.
That's a good lesson for everybody that listens to this show. That's for sure. So how do they get a hold of you and tell them about your program?
We hang out at strategysprints.com. All these tools that I have mentioned, many of them are open source. You can grab them at strategysprints.com/tools. And I also hang out in a Facebook group, which is a private Facebook group just of business owners for business owners. But if you say you come from Tom, I will let you in. The Facebook group is called Entrepreneurship in Sprints. And we are around 900 business owners there talking about what works, what doesn't in sales, and how to navigate these funky times.
Did you say entrepreneur in sprints, IN?
Entrepreneurship in Sprints is the Facebook group.
And it's INSPRINTS?
Entrepreneurship in Sprints, SPRINTS. Yeah.
Right, but I'm saying after the entrepreneurship, it's then what?
In Sprints.
In sprints.
IN.
Yeah.
SPRINTS.
Got it now. Okay, we'll have that in the show notes for you folks, so you don't have to think about it. You just click on it. So beautiful. So thanks so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate it. It's a great message to impart to people, and you've lived it, where you were burning yourself out in a business, and you stood back, figured out how to do it, and then worked on your business, and now you actually retired from your own business.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you, Tom, and thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Okay. So that was Simon Severino, folks. Very cool guy. And so get over there to strategysprints.com/tools, and then check out his Facebook group. Facebook group is Entrepreneurship in Sprints, SPRINTS, but we'll have it all in the show notes for you. So thanks so much, everybody, and we'll catch y'all on the next episode. See you later.